Hi fam, let me tell you how we are as a country. Kenya is really blessed and lucky. Apart from the things that happens and the political temperatures rising, as a country we are so blessed. So Donald Trump has been making, or rather creating, a list of countries that will be blacklisted from getting US visas. And Kenya haven't fallen in that list. And I know most of us been, we see Somali, we see this, we see the, Kenya is not part of that, which is really a good thing because the Kenya and the US relationship has always been so good over, or rather across the administration, starting from the Bush administration, George W. Bush, Obama, and now Donald Trump. But Kenya, we are still not falling in that. And something good really happened. So today, the US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, and Kenya signed an agreement. Actually, it's a health framework of cooperation agreement, kind of an agreement, that will see Kenya get 1.6 billion US dollars over the next 5 years. And this money is supposed to help Kenya on the health framework, which is supposed to, to be used on disease preventions, things like health security, and the money is going to be directly given to the Kenyan government through the Ministry of Health, which is the US, what is trying to do is to cut the middleman, because way back, US used to work with corporations, used to work with organizations. These are the NGOs that we had so many in Kenya. And these NGOs, what used to happen is that they will get money from the US, and they plan for these health programs and things like that. But remember, that money is supposed to cater for their operations and expenditure. So the money, like now the 1.6 billion, will not reach Kenya as 1.6 billion. So it will be something like, let's say, 1 billion, or like 900 million or something like that, because they have OPEX and expenditures, things like that. But now, the health framework, the agreement that has been signed today by the US and Kenya, will see Kenya get 1.6 directly through the Ministry of Health, which is a really good thing because it cuts the middleman. Now, the question is Kenya going to use that money for its meant purpose, for exactly the purpose that is meant for? Because Kenyans, we are known for, misplaced priorities. I hope we are not going to get this money and put it in other things, like the way we're taking the money for, let's say, affordable housing, and we are putting it in other things like that. I really hope that we are going to maintain the Kenya and US relationship, because for them to trust us in this kind of chaos that are there in the world, where they are blacklisting countries, and they give us deals and agreements, and we sign, like, this is a really good bilateral kind of an agreement, kind of a friendship and relationship. You understand, especially right now, Trump doesn't feel like he likes people that much, but we fall into that list of getting such deals. I mean, this is the American taxpayers' money that they're giving out, but they choose to give it to us. Actually, we are the first African country to sign that kind of a health framework with the US, which is a really good thing for Kenya.
And so for us, the first, we hope to sign many of these in the days to come. But the first one we're going to sign is with Kenya. And the reason why is twofold. Number one, because of our close partnership. Number two, because they have stable and strong institutions, both in government and in the healthcare sector. And over the next few years, we're going to be investing $1.6 billion in health assistance over the next 5 years. And you'll see how that program works out. But the investment is in combination. It will allow us, first of all, to leverage the private sector to create a sustainable U.S. health assistance model around the world, and not just in Kenya, but this is the perfect place to prove that it's going to work, because it is going to work. And what it means is that money is not just going to be spent to provide medicine and care, it's going to be spent to improve the domestic infrastructure, healthcare infrastructure, so that in 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years, countries will say, we no longer need this much assistance, if any, because we have our own system, you've helped us to build it, it's now delivering results, and in fact, we now...
Getting such kind of a deal, the only thing I can hope for is that we are going to behave, because The only problem that, or rather the only thing that stops Kenya from development is corruption. And most of this money, the monies that we get from other countries, they're just misplaced and they find their way into people's pockets. So that's why you see we have so much inequality in Kenya. That's why you see we have about 125 people owning the same wealth as 42 million people. I mean, that's the craziest inequality you can ever think of. 125 people own wealth that is equivalent to 42 million Kenyans. I mean, that translates to a bonkers kind of inequality. And if you look at it that way, we can only hope that this money that we are going to get from the US is going to be helpful. It's going to serve its purpose.